Hey y'all, as parents, have you ever wanted to have a conversation with your child and tell them you might want to find you something better to say when they're using hurtful language, when they're saying words that are hurtful towards you or hurtful towards the situation, when they're angry, when they're upset, when they're disappointed? Well, if this is you, then come on in because we're going to talk about how to help them find something better to say. So, I am Megan Hamm. I'm a licensed professional counselor, registered play therapist, and I just wanted to talk about it, for a few moments. Because how many times as parents, we redirecting our child or having a conversation, or they just get mad and we don't even know why they get mad because sometimes they do that. And they want to say stuff like, oh, I hate you and I don't want to be here and I don't want you to be my mom anymore and I don't want you to be my parent and I wish I lived somewhere else. Well, let me tell you, though, although that behavior is sometimes out of left field, we don't know what it is and where it's coming from. It's actually pretty normal behavior, right? And so sometimes, if you have children who have experienced trauma or who get very overwhelmed or overstimulated, who struggle with just being able to control their emotions, they may have angry outbursts and they may say stuff like, I hate you, you're the worst parent in the world. I wish I didn't have to stay here with you. And I think for us as parents, one of the things that I always encourage parents to do, but hey, I do it myself, right? Is to be able to say, to validate that feeling and say, you know what? It sounds like you might be upset right now. It sounds like you may be disappointed right now. It sounds like those things that happen, you didn't want them to happen. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to be disappointed, but it's not okay to use harmful words. It's not okay to use words that will hurt me or hurt somebody else. Right? Ain't nothing wrong with telling your kids that. And then I think the second thing is also having the setting the limits and the perimeters and the boundaries around things that we would say. Now, one part of me wants to say, you might want to find you something better to say, but the other part of me wants to be able to tell them, you know what, calling names or saying mean things, it's not okay. Right. And we have to be able to find a better way to say what we're feeling. I hate you was not the best way to express that you're disappointed in the decision that I made as a parent. Right. And also being able to think about if they continue that hateful language, then what happens? I think being able to have a follow through, having a response to that in terms of like we talk about consequences, but what is a way that if we continue to we have a conversation with them, we continue to try to set the limits, but they continue to use those words, then we do have to decide, okay, what are we going to do? One thing that I do that works for me is I take a break. We take a pause, like, hey, and my kids, I'll tell them in a minute, hey, it doesn't seem like you're in the space to have this conversation right now in a way that's not going to be hurtful to me or hurtful to somebody else. So we'll talk about it later. And I'll walk away because I'm going to have to go calm myself down. Because if I allow them to stay in that moment and I get in that moment with them, y'all know what's going to happen. Right. So, but one of the things, so those are the things. But what are some ways? Okay, Megan. So you told me what happened. You told me what it is. I'm with you. I understand. But what do we do with it? What do I do with those words that they say? Because I can't keep ignoring it. Right. I can't keep letting them think that it's okay to say those things. I think one of the things that we don't do as much as parents and as adults, is we have to model the behavior, right? We have to show them what regulating your emotions is. We have to show them what using not necessarily positive, but using non-hurtful words even when we're upset. We have to be able to do that. And by saying, you know what, hey, I'm disappointed in your behavior right now, and I'm gonna take a deep breath before I say something, or I'm gonna in my room and take a moment before I say something. And I think that definitely models it for them. I think the other thing that we have to do, so that's that parenting accountability piece. Be able to teach them the words. We have to teach them feeling words and teach them coping strategies of what they do. Like, so when we notice that they're feeling overwhelmed or they're feeling the way that they're feeling, we get the opportunity to teach them and say, hey, let's think about a feeling word that goes with that versus using a hateful word like I hate you and I can't stand you and I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want you to be my parent. All of those things that they definitely can say. I think the what do we do after they've had that emotional breakdown, that meltdown? Another thing that kids will sometimes do is they will try to reconnect with us. time. You done went all the way around the world, done all them things, and now you want to come back and give me a hug. And now you want to, oh, mama, I love you. And sometimes we're not there because we want to, honestly, we really want to teach them accountability of you can't just treat me like you want to treat me and say things that you want to say and do things that are hurtful or say things that are hurtful. And then you want to come back and give me a hug. Right? Who does that? Right? And then thinking about in relationships, we're like, people like, oh, that's some toxic behavior. But when it comes to your kids, I want you to just think about that. That's their way of trying to reconnect. And as parents, as the person in the relationship, I think it's okay to reconnect with them because it's not you're not teaching them that it's okay to treat you that way. What you're teaching them is even when we struggle, we can still connect and we can still have positions as a family and that we still love each other. And so I want you to think, I want to know what you think in the comments. I want you to let me know how you feel about it. And if you've ever had to tell your kid or thought to tell your kid, you might want to find you a better way to say that. Okay? Can't wait to read the comments.